On now to Headlines Today exclusive. The visuals we are now going to bring to you are from Ladakh, where the Chinese troops have been camping ever since the 5th of September. It's been 18 days since this incursion took place, the troops refusing to withdraw. What's worrying is that the Chinese troops now seem to be building their base. On your screens are Chinese tents that have been pitched in the area. The troops have also withheld 14 horses of the villages in the area and are using them to move around.
They've come well inside our border, and they had set up, they had destroyed even our cameras, The situation has come to that. That is because we had adopted very soft policy towards them, We had always given into their aggressive postures, which is wrong.
I am here in Trishul. This is the meeting point between Chinese army and Indian army. Here you can see the two huts of China and India. This is the venue of flag meetings between Indian and Chinese army. So far in the round of flag meetings, it seems that China is still strict on his position and wants that Indian army should place its posts 20 kilometers behind. But so far they are not ready to move their position from the actual position where they are now in the Chumur area on line of actual control.
Also, our exclusive report from the area states that Chinese troops are also pushing civilians of their areas to the forefront to protest against Indian population in Demchuk, where Chinese have objected to the construction of irrigation canals. For the last 13 days, these Chinese civilians have mingled with Chinese troops. They are not allowing residents of Demchuk to construct the irrigation canal in the area, claiming it is disputed territory.
Chinese PLA has not only made incursions in the land in Ladakh region of Jammu and Kashmir, but even many times Chinese boats were seen in this famous Pangong Lake of Ladakh. Most portion of this lake is settled with China and a small portion of lake is with India. But despite that, many times during last 5 years, China boats with PLA troops entered illegally in the waters of this side and then left back. That has also increased the worries among the people living here in this area of Ladakh. With cameraman Rauf Ahmed, Ashraf Wani for Headlines Today in Pangong Lake in Ladakh.
In fact, Headlines Today is the first channel to get to the line of actual control. We have Ashraf Wani joining me in the studio. Ashraf, tell us what exactly you saw at the line of control. You got as close to it as possible. You saw the brazenness, you saw the defiance. Tell us more.
Basically, this was our motto to see the ground reality of the Chinese aggression and incursion is on line of actual control. We went all across line of control, which starts from Pangong Lake, then it is Trishul, it is then Damchuk area, and then it comes the Chumar. We have visited all the 4 sectors in this on the line of actual control, and it seems that basically this time the incursion of the Chinese PLA is not massive, but even it is much tougher than earlier Chinese incursioners who were frequently visiting to the Indian territory and then going back. Now we are seeing since September 5th, the Chinese have not only increased the number of their PLA troops in Chumur, but even they are regularly putting the supplies there. They are making the vehicular movement, even helicopter movement for their troops to provide them necessary logistics and ration and other necessary items. And also what is visible there, the people, particularly the executive councillor, who is the whole representative of the area in Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council, what he has seen in the area, he says that the troops are not only increasing, but even they are becoming much aggressive, and now they the people who are residing in the whole area, they want some kind of action, not only by the army but even from the highest authorities of the government, that means the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, and they want this issue should be sorted out diplomatically, because on the ground now it seems that all the routes for the solution are over, as Indian Army has already decided not to attend any flag meeting further with Chinese PLA on border.
Also, Ashraf, you did also speak to us about how the civilians from the Chinese side have been pushed to the forefront. Is this a new tactic by the Chinese?
Yeah, it is the tactic by the Chinese. Basically, we have seen there was a meeting between the councillor of Damchuk with the population who had assembled there from the Chinese side. Basically, he said to us that these all people were speaking Tibetan, and he was only the person in the area who could understand their language. As per his statement, which is on record, he says that those people who were gathering on for so many days, for last so many days on the line of actual control in Damchuk, were saying that they are being pressurized by the Chinese PLA to stop the locals in Damchuk to construct any kind of irrigation canal in their own area.
Alright, Ashraf, do stay with me. We have Shuja Al Haq also joining me live from Srinagar on this story. Shuja, Headlines Today is the first channel at the line of actual control. We're bringing these stills and visuals and images to our viewers of Chinese aggression. Now, Shuja, just take us through what the sentiment really is on the ground, because it seems that China's brazenness continues and only increases day by day.
Well, that's right. You know, this act of aggression has only solidified the view that China has a design as far as taking up these border disputes are concerned. And this has been happening over and over again. If you see, this particular the act of aggression has been raging on for last more than 10 days. And the trigger, as we were just discussing, was the issue of this particular canal that was being built on in the Damchok area on our own side, which Chinese have objected. And when you look at the kind of infrastructure and the road network that Chinese have built on their side of line of actual control, that is something which has always been controversial and has been taken up by Indian side. Today, when we spoke to officials in the government of Jammu and Kashmir and other political parties, they are also very, very worried about this entire these entire developments in this regard. Most of them wanting the central government and the Prime Minister to take up this issue of border dispute because it affects not only the movement of troops but also the life and livelihood of those people who are living on border areas in Ladakh and other regions.
But Shuja, the ruse that China has always submitted and given before the cameras to India is that the issue is the issue of demarcation.
Well, this is exactly what the point is. There has been this argument of, lack of proper demarcation of this particular line, which is known as line of actual control. And that's the reason, probably the reason why these disputes reoccur over and over again. But one has to, as we were pointing out, one has to understand the greater design here. When China constructs their roads and other infrastructure works are done on their side of line of control, there is no problem. When Indians start doing that, like this particular issue of Damchok Canal, then the Chinese would always raise the red flag and start objecting, create issues like pushing in civilians and making sure that the work is disrupted. This has happened in previous years as well. 2013 saw it, 2012 we saw the similar kind of incidents happening. Despite these issues being taken up over and over again in flag meetings and other bilateral meetings, these issues of border demarcation or lack of it keep on reoccurring over and over again. That's probably the reason why the civilian administration in Jammu and Kashmir wants the central government to take this up once for all and make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Shuja Al Haq for joining us from Srinagar, and Ashraf Wani, who's brought us these exclusive visuals. Thank you so much for joining us this evening on Headlines.